Arcaneandstellar with a timeless pick a card reading, and we're looking at what is this person's current impression of you. So, what are they thinking about you? How are you appearing to them? Like, what do they think of your, how you're acting, your personality, whatever comes through. To be honest, we have 5 different groups to choose from. This video was brought to you, thankfully, by Katie. She got me some cool stickers off of my wish list, and that was so sweet because it's like cool pick a card choices. So we have group 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I will do a close-up of these as well in a moment, so if you want to pause at that time, you can. If you want to have exclusive pick-a-card contents, join here on the channel as a member. There are a few different tiers. Check them out, read up on them, and also, if you like astrology content, I do have an astrology channel, so you can check that out in the description box. And of course, personal readings are all provided through Etsy at this time, so check out my Etsy store and see what's up there if you're interested in, having a personal video with me, or from me. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Hello, my friends. So if you chose group number 1 here with this beautiful little sticker, this is your reading. So let's find out what the person on your mind, what's their impression of you at this time. So spirit guides, angels, and ancestors guide me in this reading for this group and help us understand the answer to this question. What's their impression? Oh, we got 2 of them. Okay, so we've got this Kuan Yin, and we have a Targetus, I think is how you say that. Compassion and balance. Well, Kuan Yin represents compassion in this particular deck, and it may be that you're a very compassionate person, you're very caring and giving. Maybe there's something about you that seems kind of soft and sweet, and generally a compassionate type of person. We also have balance here too, showing up. So generally the person sees you as like a balanced, compassionate person, like right off the bat. That's a really nice, I think, first or just general impression. It could be that, you always kind of see things from both sides. And what's funny? I wonder if they've seen you in some way, like when somebody was sort of gossiping about someone, you always kind of tried to bring things back into balance. Or you may be that type of person, the one who's sort of like, well, maybe it's because of this. Like you kind of see the other side of a situation, or you're able to sort of, decipher something deeper from a situation. Okay, well, maybe they're having a hard time, or you kind of bring things back into balance. Like somehow you'll kind of revert it. If the conversation gets too negative, you'll try to revert it back to a positive place, as an example. And if you don't resonate with that, then you probably have chosen the wrong pile. But that's definitely something I could see. We also have the key here, and the key can represent a successful outcome to problems. So again, you may be a problem solver or somebody who tries to solve problems. Again, there's that sense of balance, bringing things back into harmony in a way. So it's like you're a problem solver. You want to help people. Maybe you give also great advice, by the way. They may have seen you kind of give really good advice here. It's interesting because we have the bird perched and we have parrot, which we'll see here. So the 6th house. The 6th house is a very giving house, Virgo. Some of you could have a lot of activity in this sign, like a Virgo or the 6th house. But even if you don't, it's really not important that you do in your chart. More so, we're definitely seeing a strong message here coming through, because this is literally the sign that's attached to the 6th house generally, right? At least if you're looking at a chart from a traditional perspective, without, obviously customization. So Virgo is quite analytical in nature, right? And also very good with words, and very good at sort of organizing generally, kind of got a critical eye as an example too. The 6th house can show somebody, it could show again that you have compassion for those that are less fortunate. So the 6th house can show those that are weak, those that are not balanced, those that kind of face imbalance in their life. So again, you may have a lot of compassion for the underdog or for those that have struggled or been down and out. This in some way also with the sixth house can show that you yourself, may have come from circumstances that were a little bit on the more difficult side. This also can show somebody that has, a strong desire to balance their day-to-day life. There could be a focus on health and wellness, of course, and this can show also people who are in service careers. So the service careers, like the police, the medical, communities. A lot of nurses have this sixth house activity, or medical workers in general, CNAs, and all kinds of different types of medical workers or people that work in the health industry, but also other things like the military or the police or sort of service-oriented careers. So anything where you're giving service and you generally don't gain. A lot of times with the service careers, it's more about giving there. You know what I mean? So it's a very kind of giving house. And because if you think about it, the 6th and the versus the 12th. The 12th is like sort of sacrifice, but 6th house also kind of denotes a bit of sacrifice through action. You know what I'm saying? So it's like your hands. It's kind of like that song, Hands by Jewel. Anyway, but it's interesting. There could be somebody actually who gossips a lot about you that this person's heard. So I don't know what that means for some of you. That I might look into that a little bit because it does seem like there's a parrot, that maybe there's somebody that kind of gossips about you. But if there has been somebody gossiping about you to this person and you're kind of aware of it, they don't take that person's gossip seriously, or they don't pay attention to it. Like they know it's like bullshit, as an example. Okay, we've got heal. To mend, to tend to your wounds, to relieve pain, or to attend to wellness and health. Wow. Again, we sort of have this health aspect or healing aspect coming through. Maybe you have healing hands, by the way, or they think of that. We also have define, to describe the exact nature, attributes, or details of something and to clarify meaning. And with Virgo, which is a Mercury ruled sign, and kind of the other things that are coming up here is maybe you're really good at defining something. The other thing too is you may be waiting for them to define something as well, and maybe they are under that impression that you're kind of waiting for them to get back to them, to you, or something like that. For some of you, it might be like, oh, they're waiting for me to kind of get back to them. We have career, work, and business as well. So maybe business oriented, maybe a career connection, maybe you work a lot. Also, the 6th house can kind of be like a toiling away type of house. So maybe you work a lot. You know what I mean? And we have integrate. So to define and integrate, and I love integrate because balance. So it's like you to combine, to make whole, to dissolve the tension, to include. It's a processing card. And there's a lot of processing. I feel like your mental acuity to this person is very sharp. Like they find you to be a very smart person. You're good at kind of defining problems, integrating solutions. You're kind of a well-oriented that way. And I love it because of that advice from a friend. Dog barking again. I feel like this person, you give the impression that you're somebody that they would ask for help on some aspect of their life. Like I feel like you're well versed in something, at least by the very least, if not just kind of a well versed person in general. Like you just always kind of can figure things out or discover, how things work. Your 6th house, I think, qualities are quite high there. Okay, so finding. Yeah, look at that beautiful card. I always get such a light feeling when I see that card. It's like finding yourself, and it's like, obviously there's that aspect to it, but it feels as if you've got this sort of ray of light around you, which is interesting because look at the imagery with like the planetary, like it's like the moon. Maybe you guys were born during a full moon, or maybe you speak about full moons or something like that. You're like, oh, there's going to be a full moon. I wonder if some of you, because look at that too. We also have the circular cards here as well. And it's like there's a lot of circular energy, but again, well-rounded. is what that makes me think of. Transformation as well. The moon transforms through cycles. So this person can think of you as finding, and there's butterflies here too, in both cards, by the way. So again, we see this sort of transformational energy, the butterfly energy, delicacy, beautiful, kind of vibes here. But also, there's an innocence. I feel like this person sees you in a way that's quite innocent. And again, that doesn't mean that you're all perfect or blah, 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 or any such things like that. But there may be this aspect of you that just comes off very soft and kind. And again, maybe you've found yourself in some way, or you've been working on that, like creating some sort of change. It's almost like finding yourself and creating transformation. Some of you might actually be living a life path of service in some way, but not all of you, but I think some of you. I'll ask really quickly just about that card here, because I kind of am curious myself about my bird. Can you hear him? He's like, he wants me to come out. He's like, I'm pissed. Get out here, woman. Okay, let's see. What's up with this parrot? Yeah, to me, there's like I feel like, really honestly, some of you, to be honest, when you're approached with gossip, you tend to balance it out. Honestly, that's what I feel about. I don't think for most of you, this is going to resonate with that like sort of varying opinions. For some of you, it is going to be that there is a specific character in your life, like a person, that perhaps does kind of talk about you, but this person doesn't pay much mind to it. They don't really care. So I feel like a lot of you would know this. Like it might be that this person's kind of directly kind of abhorrent or kind of difficult. Okay, but otherwise though, I feel like this person's seen you in situations where maybe there was gossip about, and you sort of kept a very neutral approach and even a friendly approach, and that really, and for some of you, it really impressed this person, like to know that you're a really good person. Okay, so what a beautiful reading. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. Maybe I could do an impression about like perhaps your looks as an example. Like, how do you look in their eyes? We have the Knight of Pentacles. Oops. Oh. You might have certain fidgety habits or something that makes you seem or appear a bit insecure at times, though. Maybe it's like, you do certain movements like cross your arms or something like that. There could be a sense of anxiety about you through your body language, but generally very friendly. It's like friendly shy. And to me, I like the Three of Cups because this person generally feels happy towards the way that you look. Like you have a very friendly demeanor, very kind demeanor, and very like kind of solid one. I mean, in terms of your physical presence, is very warm and inviting. You may even make this person nervous sometimes because you're maybe a bit intimidating there. The Knight of Pentacles to me would represent somebody who on the earthly level is very like good looking traditionally. Traditionally like an attractive person. I wonder if you guys are asking about someone romantic or not. I would say that there's definitely, this person would say that you're, a beautiful kind of person, no matter, regardless of your gender, and wouldn't have anything negative to say about your appearance. But impression could be that you're a bit nervous or have some sort of nervous quality. That could be like clearing your voice or crossing your hands or things like that. But again, doesn't make this person think any less. In fact, they think highly of you. Okay? So, very beautiful reading. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I really hope it was helpful, insightful. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you around more if you're new. For those of you that have already been here for a while, thank you so much for all your support. If you want extra content, you can go on my member section here on YouTube and join up there. I do exclusive pick a card readings, and if you want astrology content, I do have an astrology channel as well, so you can go subscribe over there. But otherwise, guys, I just want to wish you lots of blessings. Take care, lots of love to you, and I'll see you next time. Hello, my friends. If you chose group number 2 here, this is going to be a reading. It's so funny because when I first saw this sticker and I had already put it on the table, took a picture, for the thumbnail and everything, I was like remembering that line from Days of Our Lives. When I was a kid, my mom loved to watch that show in the 90s. And I remember it said, like, sands through the hourglass. These are the days of our lives. And maybe for some of you, you have some soap opera vibes too. I don't know. Okay, sorry. Okay. Anyway, spirit guides, ancestors, and angels, guide me in this reading for those that have chosen the hourglass as their image and their marker for their reading. So what's the person on their mind's impression of them? Of course, the hourglass, can mean time. Like they've known you for a long time, or they might feel like you're in their life for a long time. We have Oya and the Muses. Ooh, okay. You might really inspire them in some way. They might even muse upon you in some way or use you as a muse. You may also have a lot of muses yourself, like perhaps, by the way, Oya is the goddess, that kind of represents expression. And so a very expressive, artistic individual, perhaps. And it doesn't always, oops, sorry. I also kind of am wondering about your body shape, if you do kind of have an hourglass figure for some of you, or a very kind of sort of, that type of thing. 5th house, creativity, no way. Some of you might have moon in the 5th house, or moon in Leo, or Cancer placements as well. Could be popular here. So Cancer in the 5th house. So because Cancer is ruled by the moon. Also, sorry, if Cancer was in the 5th house, that might mean some of you are Pisces risings, okay? Wow, okay, so creativity and expression comes through, inspiration comes through. So again, I'm guessing a lot of you are very talented types, okay? The 5th house can show somebody who's kind of a natural performer, a natural genius as well. This is the house of genius, 5th house. It's intelligence, high intelligence, actually. So like genius level intelligence is a 5th house. So I love it. We have the turkey here. We've got the tortoise. We got the family sorrow card. Some of you might have had a difficult family circumstance in your life, or maybe it was recently, or there was some sort of sorrow in your family. We have, yeah. Ooh, interesting. Okay. I'm going to take those ones because they wanted to come out. So, again, there can be this idea of having some sort of family sorrow in your life, or difficult circumstances, maybe like losing a parent younger, or, a sibling, or having some sort of sorrow within the family. Again, this could be recent. It could be something that's happened to you in the past that they know of. We have that sort of vibe. We have Saturn in the 4th vibes, perhaps even, because willow trees are actually ruled by Saturn, which is interesting. So some of you might have Saturn in the 4th house, or Saturn moon contacts in your chart, by the way. Anyway, we also have the tortoise. It's a slowly but surely getting ahead. So that gives me a patient vibe. Perhaps there is progress, but maybe it kind of moves a bit slowly for you. And it may be that you get in points of your life where you're just like, what am I doing? Like, things are so slow, I can't handle this. and there can be a lot of emotional creativity, by the way. A lot of your creativity may be fueled from Cancerian things. So our emotions, the moon rules our emotions. It can be from family. This could be creativity based on some sort of family sorrow as an example as well, kind of pushing you forward to achieve or something like that. We also could have moodiness, and changeability when it comes to hobbies, or it's like maybe you just are fueled by inspiration. So it's like at the spur of a moment, you just kind of channel something creative, but it's based on some sort of emotional, aspect. Inspiration comes that way, and then you express it. Cancer in the 5th house as well. That combo makes me think of like wonderful actresses or performers, or actors, you know what I mean? Because we have that kind of marker of emotion, Cancer, with the fifth house of creativity and it's sort of entertainment and performing, makes me think of somebody who could like fake cry or something even. I don't know if you guys were ever good at that or not, but let me know. Anyway, that I wouldn't say that's because the person thinks you're fake, by the way, but it may be that a lot of your creativity does come through something like that. Also, this can show like hobbies and creative endeavors that are a bit more traditional or a little bit linked to the past. So, like as an example, just in my situation, like in my life or whatever, I have like the quilting hobby, right? So I like to quilt, and quilting is kind of an old traditional sort of thing, and that's kind of like Cancer can represent sort of the idea that we're doing something that's from the past, or from like maybe traditional, or something from the homeland, or it's kind of maybe tied to cultural things or something like that too. So we could see cultural creativity as an example too. We could also see creativity surrounding women, or feminine principles as well. So it could be like taking photos of yourself, that sort of thing, or that kind of stuff. Anyway, so some of you could be like very attractive in this person's eyes as well. Okay, so someone's behaving stupidly, and someone working against you behind your back. Okay, so for some of you, this person could see you as somebody who perhaps has a rat in your life, or has had rats in your life, or has had difficult people in your life. I won't lie to you, for some of you, and you'll know this, by the way, so don't like get worried if it's like you're like, wait, do they think that? What? If this person's aware that you've kind of forgiven people more than once, or that you've kind of, there may be like someone that they think doesn't deserve your attention, or doesn't deserve your forgiveness, or doesn't deserve, that kind of thing, okay? I mean, for some of you, this person could look at you as somebody who works behind their back. But I don't necessarily get that for most of you. I think you would be aware of it. Like there would be animosity or something kind of awkward between the two of you, okay? Anyway, so yeah, I wouldn't worry about that if it's not something that you're aware of, okay? Don't start making up stories that you don't know about. Anyway, this should be more of a confirmation and an insight, but also there should be some sort of confirming aspects to the reading, or it's probably you picked the wrong group. Okay, so mountain, major challenge to overcome. Again, maybe there are certain mountains in your life that they've seen. Like maybe you live near the mountains or near the forest, but also there is that aspect of challenge. Like maybe you've really climbed a mountain in your life, and somehow, like some way, maybe you became a mother young as an example, and it's like you've had to struggle, to get by, like you go to school still and finish that. Not all of you, of course, okay? But for some of you that could be, because we have fifth house in Cancer, motherhood. That's motherhood right there. Cancer in the fifth house. Actually, I was doing that thing on Gwen Stefani because she has the moon in the 7th. And she was having Saturn in her 5th house, which can bring delays to children or having a child. And she had this sort of, when she was having it right around her Saturn return, she wrote that song. I did a short for it on my astrology channel, but it was really interesting because right after her Saturn return, she was writing that song, A Simple Kind of Life, and it was sort of like her looking at her her desire to be a mother, but also enjoying her freedom and stuff like that. And she was like, oh, I'm 30. I'm like, oh my God, time's passing. And anyway, for her, that was like something important. And for some of you, you may be like desiring greatly to be like a mother or a parent, or, to have that. There also could be a lot of romantic dramas, by the way. Some of you might have had a lot of partners, or a lot of like ups and downs with partnerships. Maybe you sing a lot about that, or sing about it. Why did I say sing about it? Okay, well, maybe some of you do. That was weird. I did not mean to say that. But maybe you guys express it in some way. Or, I don't know. Sorry. So, we also have the crib, birth or conception of a child or enterprise. Some of you might be pregnant. Or they think you're going to get pregnant, or something like that. Anyway, dolphin, financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. So there could be financial gains that they've seen after these trials, or they believe that you're going to make it in some way, that you will overcome challenges, like you can get over anything. because we also have that tortoise, you know, slowly but surely getting ahead. We have the mountain, which also indicates kind of a slower, more difficult energy. But the dolphin kind of shows that, you know, the intelligence is high, the activity is high, the positivity is high, and you will overcome. And yeah, some of you could have new prospects on the horizon too in your life. We have wellness, health, and self-care. So again, maybe some of you are focused on those areas of your life, maybe taking care of yourself as well. Maybe you have certain excuses when it comes to your wellness. In their eyes, just going to say, we have excuses and surrender. I mean, this person, the impression, I'm going to be honest, again, it's going to depend. If you just met this person or you don't know them very well, then probably this is not your message. But if you've been with somebody or around somebody for a very long time and they know you pretty well, or well enough anyway, there could be an impression that somehow you lack responsibility for certain choices at times, and that maybe you give up too quickly, or they don't want you to give up too quickly. There's this idea of for some of you, this person may want you to surrender a bit more instead of, for your health as an example, like maybe not do as much, or not be afraid of making excuses. It could be quite the opposite there as well. On the other spectrum, I was going to say, it's like, or maybe you never let your wellness or your health become excuses for you to surrender as well. That's also a possibility. So that is what I'm seeing, you guys. I really get, yeah, kind of an interesting reading here. Wait, hold on. Let me just see. Anything about like how this person sees their appearance. Again, I do sort of get a very like good looking type of character here. Hold on, I'm not going to take that. Oops, dang it, there we go. Okay. Oh, beautiful. So Knight of Pentacles is awesome. Look at that. Look at those hips. They may really like find your hips attractive or curvaceous, or there might be like a nice shape to you. You know, whatever your shape is, even if it doesn't look like this, they admire the way that your shape is. Like the way, whether you are stick straight or whatever you are, like there's an appreciation for the curvature of your body. Okay. Especially if there's a roundness to it. We have a lot of round energy here as well. So maybe certain parts of you are a little bit more round. And we also have, this person could have the impression that you're quite young looking, even if you're not. There could be like a youthfulness. There could be a natural look to you as well. That's quite like earthy and beautiful. Your voice might be very noticeable to this person, even more so than your looks. Like they may really, like your voice is striking to them, or it catches them. Like they always understand it or hear it or something like that. Like not hear it, like it's like they take notice of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I really, really hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you want more content, you can join here as a member and get some loyalty badges, some custom emojis, and some pick a card readings that are exclusive. You know, that's it on certain tiers, so definitely check out the different tiers. You can push that join button up above. If you do decide to donate to the channel, thank you so much. You're so sweet. I was happy that Kate gave me the stickers. So, you know, anyone who ever wants to go, I have wish lists and I have my donation, you know, possibilities through Venmo and PayPal and stuff like that. It's all in the description box. And if you want a personal reading with me, of course, that's one way to do it. I will do personal readings if people give me something off my wish list. Like it's always like a thank you thing I do. But also you can buy a reading from me straight out on my Etsy store as well. So you can do that. If you like astrology, you're more than welcome to join my channel over there. It's in my description box. You can see it's pretty much at the top. I kind of try to make it easy for people to find. So I'd love if you subscribed. But anyway, take care, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Lots of blessings. Hello, my friends. So you've chosen this cute little kitty sticker. How cute. Okay, so maybe for some of you, this impression that the person has that you have a cat. Maybe some of you like cats or have a cat or talk about cats, or maybe you use a cat icon somewhere or somehow are associated with cats. Of course, cats are quite independent creatures and quite like instinctual as well. So this person could think of you as somebody with really good instincts, somebody who's a little bit cat-like. Maybe you like, you know, your independence as an example, or maybe it doesn't mean anything at all. Maybe for some of you, you just like the image. Okay, so let's see here. We'll bust into the cards here and find out some more. So this person's impression of them. But I do feel like some of you are independent thinkers, I will say. And I will pick that one up off the floor. We have Artemis, independence, no effing way. Okay, you are an independent thinker. Wow, that was like super cool. Okay, nice. Wow, cool. Okay, we have Eos and Artemis showing up here. So the goddess that is associated in this deck with light. And we have Artemis, independence. I can't even with this. That's so funny. And isn't Artemis also associated with animals? Maybe you guys are animal lovers. Or, well, she's like the huntress, right? So, I don't know. Anyway, maybe you hunt the truth. Maybe you guys are like the types that are digging for the truth. You want to shed light on things. You don't like to just take things like a narrative as an example that's just fed to you. Maybe you guys have a very independent way of thinking, like you always are kind of like checking out all sides and making your own decision. So this definitely doesn't feel like to me like follower energy. I feel like you guys have a very strong independent vibe. At least that's the impression this person has of you. Okay, wow. I'm still, so, I don't know. I have it happen all the time in personal readings like this, but it just kind of shocked me how, like, strongly that came through. That's so funny. Okay, so let's see here. Tell me more about this person's impression. It's the beauty of life shuffling. Like, I really do enjoy it. I know sometimes people complain about it, but if I would have had that pre-shuffled, and I would be honest about it, like I never mess with my cards ever. Such an idea doesn't even occur to me. But see, people might think I set it up that way. And it's like, no, that's why it's nice to life shuffle. Oh my goodness. We do have younger man, so some of you actually might be a younger man that's watching, but probably not for too many of you. You might be associated with a younger man as well. Like maybe you have a friend that you hang around that's a younger male. As an example, maybe they know you through such a person. But we have that torch. Oh my God, look at that. The torch is 2 different cards have a torch in them. So it's like light, spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. So that's the thing. I feel like a lot of you have this person's impression that you guys are somehow seeing through some kind of BS, or you guys have maybe alternative ideas, or again, you like to shed light on things in general, and you speak with truth. We have the harp here. To me, the harp represents, without the keywords of great happiness, it represents to me like a delicate sort of beautiful energy. That makes a very beautiful sound as well. So a lot of you might have a very nice melodious voice, or some kind of like angelic presence in some way. I know that might sound so cringy to some of you, and you surely wouldn't believe that about yourself, but just saying. We have pay attention to your finances with purse. So some of you might be very career focused right now, money focused, or maybe some of you are looking for a job, or some of you are looking for, improvements to your finances as an example as well. Maybe some of you actually work with finances. We have the key, successful outcome to your problems. Some of you might be good with financial advice. Fair man comes out. So again, another man. I wonder if men are, like there are a lot of men on here, or masculine energies coming through. Again, there may be an association with a fair man. The fair man can have blonde, gray, or white hair. So somebody with lighter hair as well. We have desk, pay attention to your work. I'm going to take back this fair man and get one more card. Okay, excitement. We have great happiness and excitement. You guys might have a very excitable personality. You may kind of speak with a lot of enthusiasm. You may generally like exciting things or live like an exciting lifestyle in their mind or their impression. So maybe you've done things that are quite like what they find or deem to be kind of exciting, whether it's skydiving or, traveling somewhere or doing something, or, just going out a lot, or, whatever it may be. I want to say that generally this person has pretty positive like impressions of you, to be honest. And again, there's this idea of finding the solution to every problem and enlightenment coming through. So again, you might have strong spiritual ideals, moral ideals, beliefs, systems might be high. Let me see here what pops out. We also have to pay attention to your work. So of course, again, with that, pay attention to your finances, pay attention to your work. Maybe you guys are very work oriented. You kind of put a lot of effort into your work, as an example. Maybe you're busy with work a lot lately, that sort of thing. What's this person's impression? Sagittarius. That's so funny. I wished I would have said it, because I was going to say maybe some of you have like ninth house or Sagittarius things or something of that nature, and then Sagittarius comes out. Yeah. Some of you might have some ninth house placements, or again, Sag placements. So, because, let me see, what was that? I didn't see. What did it say? Ninth house. Oh my God. What that? I'm getting scared, guys. Oh man. Oh my goodness, these are like so on point today. Like, Lordy be. Anyway, the ninth house in Sagittarius came out. Okay, so faith. The ninth house in astrology represents our belief systems and morality. As an example, religion, spirituality, divination. Some of you actually might be quite psychic or intuitive. Some of you might use divination tools, by the way, as well, because that's traditional. If you don't believe me, and I know someone might come down in the comments and be like, no, that's the 8th or 12th house, I would definitely suggest you to read Deborah Holding's book, Houses in the Sky. Beautiful, wonderful book, and it has a lot of good introspective, like, look at the history and basis of astrology and the house meanings. So definitely would suggest that. But some of you might be great learners, and some of you might be great travelers. And ninth house can talk about anywhere that's out of our realm, of what we're used to. The third house is the opposite house, right? So it represents our local neighborhoods, our this kind of energy. So short trips and travel, local neighborhoods. Ninth house, and it's also like lower levels of learning, like trade schools and such like that. Kind of like, how do I use my hands and stuff like that. But the ninth house is kind of a higher energy of that. So it's the higher mind. The ninth house is the house of God. So there can be a strong spiritual component to you. Like, you seem like a very spiritual person. Maybe you talk about God, or there's some kind of religious or moral beliefs that you adhere by, spiritual beliefs as well. Again, there may be interest in foreign cultures, foreign languages, foreign places. Foreign things. And why? Because, well, the ninth house is how we learn outside of our neighborhood. We learn first in our neighborhood that we grow up in, and then we start to explore beyond that, and we come into touch with other things. And maybe for some of you are seekers, and that's what Sag energy in the ninth house really is. It's seekers of life, of what's beyond and what is ahead. And it rules like prophetic dreams as well. It's the ninth house. It's a prophetic dream kind of placement. Although I have a stellium there, and I really don't have very often any prophetic dreams, but actually Princess Diana, I saw a short on her recently, and it was talking about how she had predicted her death. So of course the astrologer Lisa was like, what makes someone predict their own death? And then so I went to look at her chart, and she had the ninth house ruler in the 8th, which wasn't surprising, because that was what I thought it would be. I was like, well, there should be a connection between maybe the 8th and the 9th in some way. And sure enough, her son, she had Leo 9th house, sun goes into the 8th, so it's in the 12th from itself, and yeah, and she predicted it. Then I went and looked up at Martin Luther King, Mark Twain, Buddy Holly, all kind of had similar energies, or they had the rulers of these houses in aspect to each other. Like the 8th house ruler was in the 1st, aspecting a 9th house planet. It was like, you know what I mean? Combos. And so that was really interesting. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you guys. But some of you might like astrology as an example. That's the house of an astrologer. actually, it's the ninth house originally. I mean, of course, there can be other people who are astrologists that don't have ninth house. Please don't get me wrong on that. You can have, and the ninth house is important for everyone, even if you don't have planets there. Like, you can still be impacted greatly because all houses are equally important. And the ninth house, you know what I mean? Even if it's empty. Like, and I kind of did a short about that on my astrology channel, but it's important to remember that because each house has a ruler, and that ruler goes to take action for that house somewhere in the chart. And that's why it's so important to look at the house rulerships, like with Princess Diana's case. Anyway, the point here is that there's a strong spiritual sense to you. And of course, we see a Ouija board there, palm reading. Again, there's ideas of the future, predictions. You might have a good knack for something, like, and one thing I will tell you is I have looked at the chart of like people who are kind of independent thinkers or seem to kind of go against the grain, and a lot of times you'll see them with ninth house placements because it's like they want to get away from that mentality. They want to look at things from a different perspective, and so it doesn't always mean it'll be the right one. Who knows? You know what I mean? But there's definitely a higher understanding there. And the third house can show like how we teach somebody how to do this as an example. And the ninth house is more like, why do we do that? Why would we do that action? You know what I mean? So again, it's sort of like this higher behind the scenes kind of feeling here. So you may have deep thoughts and feelings in this person's mind as well. So, wow, sorry I kind of rambled there for a minute about astrology, but yeah, that's the ninth house for you. And so this person sees you, and also law. The ninth house can be kind of like law oriented as well. Like kind of anything that has to do with like morals and stuff like that too. Anyway, so I love it. And on optimism, that's funny because great happiness, the ninth house is very optimistic. Like I can tell you, like the ninth house people, especially those with the ninth house moon as an example, not life can knock them down on their knees and they'll still try to get back up. And it could be that you're that type of person. It's like you can't stay down for too long. You'll always try to kind of bring light and like back into your life and kind of move through that inspiration. So, wow, I really think you guys sound like awesome, at least in this person's eyes. Anyway, I was going to make a video about that to Princess Diana, but my friend was like, that might be too negative. And now I just said it, so he'll probably be like, Lisa. I'm like, I don't mean to be negative. I mean, like, I'm not trying to focus on negative things. It's just how you learn astrology. Because you need to find the causation. Like, you see an action, then you want to find out what's causing it and the correlation, and then you need to look at multiple charts to make sure it's making sense, you know? It's like, actually, ninth house can show scientific thinkers too, by the way. Anyway, because they can be like scientists as well, have that, because it's a lot of theory and exploration. Okay, so anything else about that? So you might always kind of be like not solid in your mindset. You're kind of like moldable. You know, it's like, wow, compassion came out. You must be a really nice person. I think this person looks at you and they think that you have a lot of compassion for the world in general. Maybe you have compassion for those that a lot of people don't, as an example. Or you see compassion for both sides. Maybe you see both sides of situations. We have new beginnings here too. And forgiveness. Oh, I love it. So you don't hold on too tight. I feel like you guys have compassion. And you're like kind of like, okay, well, what's the next door to go through? And there could be an aspect of you that is very forgiving. Maybe they've kind of witnessed this in some way, maybe through your actions or how they've seen you interact or how you've spoken about things. But there's this sort of idea of forgiveness and moving forward. So I'm kind of inclined to believe that this person, at least their current impression, that doesn't mean that's how you are. It's just how they're perceiving you as somebody who doesn't hang on too much to like stuff. You just want to kind of forgive and move forward. That doesn't mean that you put up with anything. You just sort of, you know, you probably actually have that independent vibe, but it's just like, I forgive and I move on and I open these new doors and I'm gonna just, you know, carve my own path as well. But a very understanding nature, to be honest. So with that being said, guys, I will stop here. That is what I'm seeing. I do, oh, let me ask actually, oops, I almost forgot about the looks. I'm going to use this deck this time. I want to use the Book of Shadows Tarot. I used a different one for the other groups, but I feel like this one for you. So looks wise, what's their impression? Physical impression. The Hierophant. The Hanged Man. Do you guys do yoga or anything like that, I wonder? Or the Moon. For some of you, maybe this person isn't so clear on their impression. Maybe if you haven't met this person in real life, or they don't know, you guys don't know each other like that, they haven't made a firm decision. There's that possibility for some of you. The Hierophant is interesting. I'm kind of apprehensive here because I know that, like, see, this is where you get into tricky realms with pick a cards, okay? Because I'm asking numerous questions. So we're sort of painting a picture that's getting a bit complicated. So I'm going to start to lose people here. For some of you, this person may look at you like in a very traditional platonic sense, okay? And they may see you as like traditionally good looking. Maybe for some of you, you kind of fit in with people around you in some way. In terms of your looks or how you appear. Nothing negative here in terms of how you look. You might look different from the people around them. I'm wondering if you and this person could have different backgrounds in some way. Like maybe, you know, something different about your background. Because there feels like something different here. Or they don't really have an impression on your looks because maybe they haven't seen enough yet to make a firm decision here. But the Moon at the same time can be kind of ethereal and beautiful. So I would be inclined to believe that there is that sense of enchantment or mystery here that they want to explore. Nothing negative here, by the way. But that's what I'm seeing. Anyway, I really hope that helps. Sorry, that was kind of a weird one. I'm guessing a lot of people might choose this group or something because that was kind of weird. The answer to me was a little bit strange. We could see rounded features, I suppose, as well. But anyway, I was going to say that, you know, that can happen when we start to ask too many questions in one reading. Anyway, I really hope that this reading was helpful for you guys, and I really wish you all the best in the world. Let me know in the comments below what you thought, and I hope that you guys find, you know, peace with this message, and I hope that you guys will stick around for more content. Subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. And if you want additional content, I do exclusive pick a cards. You can get loyalty badges and emojis here on the channel by joining as a member. And then if you want a personal reading with me, that's on Etsy. And thank you in advance to all of you that donate, you know, to the channel through my wish list, through the thanks button above, and everything else. That was actually how I got this video going, because someone gave me some stickers off my wish list, and that was really sweet, Katie. Thank you. Anyway, lots of love to you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, my friends. If you chose group number 4 here with this potion bottle, this is your reading. I'm still tripping out over the third group because they had a really, really crazy reading, very synchronistic. Anyway, the first thing when I'm looking at this sticker image, to be honest, is I'm hearing a spoonful of sugar helps some medicine go down. So I don't know if, like, you guys are extra sweet when you say something kind of difficult. I wonder if you guys are good at breaking bad news, or you have to break bad news, or perhaps this person has the impression of that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, and medicine's sort of like not tasting good usually. So it's like, it might be the things that you need to hear. Like, so maybe you guys know how to say what people need to hear, but in a nice, kind way. I wonder how that resonates, but we'll see. That was just the first thing that came to my mind, Mary Poppins. So maybe some of you have been nannies with the Mary Poppins imagery coming through, but let's see here. Tell me more of this person's impression of them. Oh, Freya and Hecate. Okay, so we got two strong goddesses coming through. Boldness and magic. That's funny because Mary Poppins does magic, sort of, right? So maybe some of you are quite magical in some way. Freya, kind of with the idea of boldness, could mean that you're a very bold type of person, like very forward and confident. They may see you as kind of driven. Maybe you drive a lot as well. She's kind of got that chariot as well. We have forgive. Oops. Dreams, true calling, and vision. Some of you might be very intuitive or psychic in nature. We have self-care. Okay. Okay, interesting. So dreams, true calling, and vision. Maybe some of you are really apt toward visions or knowings or things of that nature. We also could see somebody who's kind of following a true calling, or who has a true calling, or they see you as having like a true calling in some way. Like you've got this talent or this ability, or you know where you're going. Again, remember that someone's impression does not have to represent how you see yourself. Okay? Oftentimes we don't see ourselves nearly as positively as other people tend to. Okay? We have forgive, to neutralize guilt, to make peace, and to practice compassion, to let go and to set yourself free. We have feather, someone you know is undependable and insincere, and I find that funny. It came out right after I talked about forgiveness. Maybe for some of you, you've forgiven this person, or maybe it's other people in your life for being a bit undependable in your life, or maybe insincere. Maybe you kind of have, a caring nature. But for some of you, you may have let go of such situations, because we do have self-care. And maybe sometimes you've had to move past, forgiving these people. Or it's like you forgive it, but I'm just going to move forward. I'm not going to stick around for this. That kind of vibe as well. We have, trouble and accusations. And we've got handshake. A meeting with a stranger could be important. Interesting. If this person is a stranger to you, I would have to say that probably this person actually feels like there's something magical about you or important. Okay, so I feel like that's a strong message for some of you. Like you met for a reason. We have career here. That's funny because when I picked this deck up, I looked over at the bottom for a second, just kind of looked at it, and it said new job or career. So that's interesting. I wonder if some of you met them through work or career. Or again, maybe there's, you have a specific career that they notice. Peace and harmony. And I thought I saw the ladder. I'm sure of it. Yep. Yep, climbing towards success. So this person feels like you're climbing towards success in your life. Perhaps you have that true calling or that vision. It's like you're going for it. Maybe you're making a career out of a calling in your life. There could have been trouble or accusations in your career at some point, or some sort of difficulty in your career. I wonder, maybe you've recently been in trouble or had some kind of trouble there with career. But it feels to me with forgiveness, it's sort of like, you just let it go, you set it free, and you take care of yourself. So I don't feel like you stay on a topic for too long. We have peace and harmony here, and to me this kind of represents the idea of the person, finding you to be like a harmonious person, or maybe you value it. They may even associate wind chimes with you as well. Maybe you have a wind chime up at your home or something, or who knows. We have freedom. Maybe you're seeking freedom in your life. Freedom from burdens. We have good luck as well. With the black cat. So cute. So that black cat with the good luck. So they might find you to be very lucky, and they're like, what kind of magic do they work? Do they do spells? Maybe some of you do spell work actually here with Kate. Okay. There could be that idea that you're, kind of a magical person, or spell oriented, or into something of that nature. With freedom here and Freya and the boldness aspect coming through, I do feel like this person knows that you don't like to be locked up in a cage. Maybe you like to kind of get out and do things. Yeah, let's see. We have the second house. And the Capricorn. Ooh, interesting. Maybe some of you are Sag risings, or you have a Capricorn second house, or some of you might have strong Capricorn placements, or maybe strong second house placements. Okay, so first of all, second house. Obviously, the card says owning, but the second house can refer to our possessions. So money and the things that we own, the tangible goods, and also things that bring sustenance and value to our life that way too. I feel like that's probably why it's always been like kind of the gate of Hades, the second house, because if you think about it, greed and gluttony, it's a house of Venus. So again, these type of things can go overboard, obviously. When we're too greedy, like Scrooge McDuck or whatever. I don't feel like you are, but I'm just saying that, like, maybe for some of you, there's strong potential with your money, or you work really hard because that career. So I'm kind of feeling like maybe you work really hard here, and maybe you're just very career focused. Maybe you guys are climbing towards success in your career. They're kind of seeing that in some way. I wonder if you've broken out of certain cages when it comes to your career or in your life. Maybe you kind of, this is not exactly out of the box energy though. But I wonder if there's something about you that wants to break out of a box or out of a cycle or something along those lines. Capricorns can be very like hard workers and good high achievers. And so maybe you guys have that sort of dynamic to yourself. It's a pretty good combo though, because if I take Capricorn as the 10th house and the second house, the 2nd and the 10th are good because they're in trine aspect, right? So they're always going to be of the same element, We're going to see, you know what I mean? So it would be Taurus, obviously, if it were Capricorn at the top, because that would be an Aries rising chart, you know what I mean? But anyway, so that's a pretty good flow. So this person may perceive you. Now, again, doesn't mean that you have it. A lot of people, I was actually doing a reading for somebody today and, kind of pointing out that, like, even in my life, there were times where I achieved a lot of things and people would assume I had a lot of money. And it's like, dude, I barely made that happen behind the scenes and they just didn't know it. So do remember, these are impressions, not necessarily facts. So a lot of career potential perhaps, and all of that good stuff coming through. There could be also a lot of care towards yourself in general. Some of you may do weird diets or strict diets or like elimination diets or things of that nature. I wonder if some of you might do that because of the Capricorn, because it reminds me of Saturn in the second, and that can be like where there wasn't enough food growing up, or there were restrictions around food, or sometimes it can show people who don't need to eat as much or put restrictions on that or block that, or they like to eat things that are prepackaged or prepackaged or preserved, because Saturn rules preservation, so it could be like preserved foods or things of that nature. Anyway, or things without vitamins. Anyway, but I don't think so because of the self-care, so I would think that maybe, but there could be self-care of like getting yourself past such things. Do you know what I mean? Like if you've had those things in the past, like, like whether it was like just eating habits that weren't good for you in some way, whether it was a mindset, of how you were approaching food or things of that nature. Anyway, sorry. I'm going to get one more card here. But definitely a magical aspect to you here. The cat and the lavender, independence. So that's cute because we have a cat right up there. So we have two black cats. So I wonder, do any of you have a black cat or have some kind of connection towards black cats? It's kind of funny because group number 3. Did you guys choose group number 3? I wonder. I don't know. We can talk about themes of imbalance and insecurity. Don't let fear guide your path. Instead, think of a serene and solitary cat. Try to embody such trust in your own instincts and abilities. How can I learn to trust myself, and what traits do I possess that I can rely on? Maybe this is like, this person feels like you should trust yourself more. Perhaps you guys have some sort of insecure traits, and this person wishes that you would kind of exercise more boldness in your life. It's like maybe they see that transformation, though, for some of you. Maybe you already embody a more bolder approach to life, and they admire that. Maybe they wish they could be like that, even. Especially if you do know that you're a kind of a bold person, and you're like, no, I'm definitely bold. Well, then this person might have the impression that they wish they could be like that in some way. I feel like if you have problems in your job, you kind of let it slide off really easily as well. That's something I'm getting. So maybe you're like really chill with like bad clients or customers, or, you know, whatever problems that you may have, coworkers, colleagues, you know, whatever. You may kind of actually like really let that shit go very easily. But this person feels like you're important in their life. Like from the moment they met you, they felt like you were important. And that's something I will tell you. Like there was something that clicked. Maybe you guys have soul connection with this person. But this person thinks you're very capable of great success. Like you've got it. You know that song by Roy Orbison? It's You Got It? I kind of get that vibe here. You know, whether it's romantic or platonic that you're asking about, doesn't really matter. Like those sort of, lyrics kind of are, applicable here. It's like every time I look into your loving eyes, I see something money just can't buy. One look from you, I drift away. I pray that you are here to stay. Anything you want, you got it. I'm not a good singer, so I'll stop now. Okay, what about your looks and your physical appearance? I haven't focused too much on this question with the other groups. I will go over it lightly. I'm not going to dig into this too. Oh my god, the moon looks so cool. Man, if my ring light wasn't so shiny and weird, I probably would show you the moon. It's freaking cool. Okay, anyway, maybe you're beautiful and striking like that moon. It's orange. So I saw that just now. That's so weird. I think your smile is very beautiful to this person, and your eyes. Eyes and smile are very noticeable and appreciated by this person. The moon. Oh my god, you guys. This is going so well. What the Yeah, like the moon. Exactly. Three of Cups, a friendliness, the way you smile. There's something traditionally good looking about you. Like, I feel like you guys actually, just in the sense of what they deem as beautiful, it's like you fit that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you fit the traditional aspect. You also could be a very traditional beauty in the eyes of society. Like, you just have the attributes that people like in general. Even if you don't feel like that, by the way. I feel like this person's looked at you in many different ways, from many different positions as well. Like, it's like they want to catch a glimpse of every aspect. But I really do sense your smile, and maybe this person often catches you looking from the side. Because actually I'm looking out at that moon, and I notice that there's like a face there, but it's like, it's almost like I'm looking at it from an angle, from a side. So I want to say that this person probably steals glances at you, okay? Okay, anyway, I'll shut up now. And I am sending you so much love. If you enjoyed this reading, please let me know in the comments below. Tell me which group you chose, and leaving a comment on any YouTuber, not just mine, comments or videos, like there. It really helps us, and, YouTube thinks we're cool, and then they'll be more likely to recommend our videos and stuff. So it's always really nice, and it's free. And thank you so much for, all of your support. If you want to have custom emojis, custom badges for the, yourself in the comments, and you like exclusive pick-a-card readings, check out my membership area here on YouTube. You can join up above, right by it should be somewhere by the subscribe button, but you can see the different tiers that I have. And yeah, and then if you want a personal reading with me, you can go to my Etsy store and check those out. And if you would like to donate to the channel, that's always much appreciated. Just like this, video was kind of brought to you by Katie, who got me these stickers off my wish list. I do have 2 wish lists, so that's always a sweet thing, and I always give a thank you in return. So I'll do something for people that do that, because I can't just take anything for free unless someone's really adamant. I have had people be like, please don't do a reading, just take this nice thing. But normally I'll try to do something first if I can. But anyway, what else was I gonna say? I think that's it. Oh, I have an astrology channel too. If you want to check that out, it's in my description box. And anyway, I hope to see you guys again here on the channel, and I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Hello, my friends. So if you've chosen group number 5 here with this beautiful yin-yang sticker here, this is your reading. Now we do see the sun and the moon there, so it could be that the person on your mind has a very harmonious kind of view of you. But let's see, what kind of impression does their person have of them? Okay, that's funny. Spirit, Parvati. Okay, so we will keep it there. So, I feel that there's spiritual connection here between you and this person. So it does feel like there could be some kind of spiritual aspect. We have Hisi Wang Mu, I think. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. I probably am saying that wrong. I'm so sorry. But renewal. So, spiritual renewal. Maybe for some of you, you've had spiritual awakenings, or maybe in some way there's been a renewal of your spiritual life. Maybe for some of you, you have a different religion or belief system from what you were grown into, like when you were younger, as an example. I also feel here that with renewal, perhaps you kind of have, maybe you're renewing yourself in their life, or they want to renew in your life in some way. Maybe you guys actually are good at reviving things or growing things, or maybe some of you save seeds. I don't know. That sounds silly. I'm sorry. But maybe for some of you that's a right message. Parvati with spirit. I feel like that there is a spiritual connection here. What's interesting is we have practice and guide. So guide, to teach, to educate, to coach, and to enlightenment. And then we have practice. I wonder if there's some sort of dynamic between student and teacher. I wonder, or we have practice, to put into action, to apply a concept in a practical way, to hone a skill, to develop a habit, and to exercise. So we may find that this person has the impression that you're practicing something right now, or that you help other people practice something. Perhaps, I wonder if some of you might be teachers or guides in some way, or just educational types. We have August showing up as well. We have romances in the air. We have February. So August and February are showing up. Oh my God, really? Waiting for news, a package, or a letter. This person could be hoping to hear from you if they haven't. Or they might, could be that going on. We have October. So what was it? January, October, and August are showing up. So maybe this person's hoping to hear from you this month, or they're expecting to see you this month, or something like that. We have pleasure with a close friend. We have mountain, major challenge to overcome. And we have the staff. You will be taken care of in difficult times. This person could see you as a bit of a protector, as somebody who is very spiritual, or who has beliefs that are very spiritual in nature. We have a person who's a helper. You maybe in some way you try to help people through difficult times. Or you have a dream to do such a thing. Maybe in sometime you want to be that way, where you can kind of re-enlighten people or refix their life or help them. we have life purpose as well. Some of you, this person feels like you live with purpose or a deeper meaning. This person finds you attractive. So it's so interesting because all of the groups like were quite neutral in terms of like, oh, is it romantic or not romantic? Like it's kind of neutral, to be honest. Do I mean like maybe for some yes, maybe for some no? This is the first group that's very romantic. This person has romantic interest in you, I feel, okay? Because we have romances in the air, but also that beauty. I don't know. I'm kind of inclined to believe that there could be a romantic attraction here, possibly. This person does have the impression, though, that you're very beautiful, for sure. I mean, maybe for some of you, if you're asking about someone you know there's no way, maybe they see you going through romance or deserving romance, but maybe it doesn't have to be that they are. I mean, but I think for a good portion of you, yes. This person thinks you have a lot of potential towards, success in general, but it does seem like there are some challenges. Oops, what happened? Let's see. We have Capricorn. Yeah, that's funny because Capricorn rules mountains. And we have a mountain card right there. So major challenge to overcome. So you may have some great mountains or trees or, this kind of big energy to climb above. Maybe you've had certain struggles. But I feel like that you're well suited to overcome, in their mind, these struggles. You might give good advice. Interesting, Saturn. So some of you might be quite Saturnian. Saturn can bring delays sometimes to situations. So, but it also can bring hard work and effort, humbleness as well. So you might have a very humble spirit. You're not like on the elevated side of Saturn. Of course, Saturn on the other side could be jealous and possessive and crazy on the more negative downside, right? But on the higher vibe side of Saturn, it can be very like, kind of hardworking and supportive and loyal. So I am kind of wondering if some of you have strong Saturn in your chart. Mercury and Saturn too for some of you could be together. Taylor Swift has that actually, and it's so funny because she did that song Champagne Problems, and there's this lyric in there that's like the perfect embodiment of her Saturn conjunction like with Mercury. It's like she would have made such a lovely bride, what a shame she's effed in the head, they said. And that's actually, Saturn can rule like people who have men with when Mercury could be like that. It could show somebody very down on themselves mentally, but this person thinks you got it. Like you'll preserve you'll persevere, and you'll reach the top no matter what. Saturn could mean that you have like a very toughness to you as well, because even you'll see it in like there's like a song, actually I was listening to Marty Robbins sing a song called My Woman, My Wife, and if you look at the lyrics, they're quite sad. But he had Saturn, I think Venus and Saturn something else in his chart, and like it's like his woman, his wife, and she like loses children, and she's all hardworking, and like it's a very like kind of sad song. It always makes me kind of tear up because I feel like sad when I hear it, but it's a good, it's a wonderful love song towards a wife, who's worked very hard. But again, that doesn't have to mean that, you're a wife. I'm more talking about the idea that this person may really have admiration for you. And that's kind of what I guess I'm trying to achieve by telling you all of this. So hopefully that's coming through. But it may have felt like in your life, a lot of Saturnian people have, it can rule loneliness, depression, and all that sort of thing, and being like, feeling like an outcast sometimes, or down below. But with the hard work and perseverance, you get to the top. So there may have been certain challenges you've had, or hardships, and that sort of thing. Saturn also, I was going to say this because I'm about to post a video about this, but Saturn as a malefic, so Saturn and Mars are malefics, right? So they're more negative planets, have more negative attributes. generally, of course, we can make something good out of it, but just like Venus can be bad in some way and kind of represent gluttony, on one bad end of the spectrum. So can, Saturn and Mars can have their good sides, right? But Mars is more acute and Saturn is more like of a chronic energy. So it can mean like a long time or and who's a good example of this is Natalie Merchant. She's got Saturn Moon conjunction, and she did that song My Skin, and she does that in the lyrics. She says, I'm the slow dying flower in the frost killing hour, the sweet turning sour and untouchable. And it's sort of like something that happens over time, and like bitterness grows with time. Or also in the song she talks about the fine winding tendrils that strangle the heart, and that's sort of like those tendrils that come in and like grab you. That's Saturn. Mars will be more like I'm gonna lightning your shit. You know what I mean? It's more like tower and Mars. Of course, now in modern astrology, Uranus is kind of appropriated most of Mars, but it's kind of like it's appropriation of Mars and Mercury mainly, especially together. You know what I mean? But anyway. But so I know some of you might look at it and you're like, that sounds like Uranus. And it's because, Uranus has kind of taken on many of the traditional qualities of Mars. But anyway, so yeah, it's like you guys know how to achieve. Like you get taken care of, you make it happen. It's like you have perseverance. You have strong foundations, strong roots. You renew yourself every damn time. And you probably have had a lot of practice in some way. And for some of you, this person thinks you're a natural teacher. They may actually have the impression that you should be teaching or guiding or something like that. Especially if you guys have imposter syndrome and they know this, they might think that you have it, or, you know what I mean? Like, or that you need to overcome that even, okay? Like you're already good enough to teach or to be like something, like to guide in some way. And maybe you're really good at guiding people in general because of that staff and the dog close up. Like something about that combo right there makes me think of somebody who has the impression that you're really a good guide. Like you can be there through the difficult times. And that's another thing I think with Saturn too, is like some people who have strong Saturns are tougher. And they've seen usually the downside of life real hard. And so they are going to be more likely to be understanding for the most part. I mean, of course, the negative sides of Saturn can send people into like jealous, possessive kind of crazy behavior. But, usually that would be overcome, and humbleness and sort of like understanding come forth, Let me see. Anything else here? Man, I'm like kind of astrology crazy today. Anyway, you can join my astrology channel if you want. Okay, spirit guides. This is their impression. Maybe some of you like to kind of engage in foreign cultures and different things like that. Maybe you guys like speak another language, I wonder, or you're interested. Sometimes we might just know a few words and someone thinks we're already like super good at it. It'll be like me when I do a few words in Arabic and then people are like, dude, do you speak Arabic? I'm like, not much. Shway shway. Okay. Shway shway habibi. Okay, let me see. Where's my thingy? Oh. Hold on, sorry. It went there. I was like, where did my book go? We have the hawk and the thistle and the wolf and the rose hip. So, I'm just opening up my book. The hawk and the thistle, it says external pressures have weakened your resolve. Remember your worth and guard it closely. And this can talk about, feeling overly pressured from outside. I don't feel like you are. It may be that sometimes they think that you're a little bit too soft, to be honest, or that you need to strengthen yourself against the world, or like sharpen yourself in some way, like to be more tough, like to say no, or for some of you that may resonate. Like, I mean, maybe you won't realize it, but that may be like what this person thinks. With guardianship, it says you're called to be a mentor. Oh my God. Okay, who among your pack might need your counsel? Taking a leadership role in community activism is another way to lead like the wolf. that's really interesting because of the guide card. So we have two cards that talk about guiding, guardianship, guiding. They both kind of talk about this. So coaching, enlightening. Maybe again you have something to share in some way, and this person really thinks that there's a lot to learn from you, or that you could teach other people or something like that. But I love it. Anyways, you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'm sending you so much love and light. And if you want to join the channel here as a member, you're more than welcome. You can get some exclusive content, including emojis and loyalty badges. And also in some of the tiers, you can get exclusive pick-a cards that are only posted to the members. And if you would like to have a personal reading with me, whether it's an astrology reading or a tarot reading, in general, you can get those on my Etsy store. And like I said, if you like the astrology talk and stuff like that and you want to learn more about it, I have an astrology channel, which I am working on content. I started it not too long ago. I did start a part-time job as well recently, and so I've kind of been trying to juggle everything. So I'm a little bit slow, but I have a bunch of content planned for it, and I've kind of got some of it recorded, should be posted soon. You know what I mean? But anyway, I wish you all just so much love and light. And like I said, and I hope that you guys have a beautiful day or night wherever you are. And I'll see you next time.